Well, hey everybody. If you're watching this, thank you. The purpose of this video is really to give kind of a recap of the trip to Alaska, raising awareness for artists helping the homeless. I want to give a bunch of thank yous to everybody that made it possible. But I want to start with kind of recapping as to why we did it. In talking with these guys that I work with on a regular basis, these guys who are trying to change their lives, who are just trying to get um, things back together, they carry a lot of heavy stuff, a lot of burdens, a lot of fears, a lot of resentments, a lot of guilt, a lot of shame for choices that they made, for the circumstances that they didn't have any control over. And it's heavy. It's heavy carrying a lot of that stuff, and trying to figure out how to let it all go. And so through some discussion with Car Wu and some of the guys and the board members, it was decided that, let's write down those things that we really want to let go, that we're trying to get some freedom from. Let's put them on paper. And then I had this wild idea that let's put them all over the inside of this car I had, and then go and launch it off a cliff in Alaska on July 4th. And that on that journey, as we collect these things, I would talk to people, whether it's at gas stations, border patrol agents. It was amazing, the diversity of folks that I talked to, kind of sharing the message around what Artists Helping the Homeless is all about, and did they have anything that they wanted to let go of? And everybody did. I don't think there's a person on this planet that's not carrying around something that they're ready to let go of. And through this process, I had lots of very heartwarming and difficult conversations. I had plenty of my own notes that I put into the car. And when I got up there, a couple things happened that were really pretty incredible. So I had to drop the car off to have it prepared to be launched, which meant taking out the windows, getting rid of a lot of the fluids, so that it was easier to clean up after it had been launched off the cliff. And I left the car there on a Wednesday, and the July 4th was on a Friday. And on Friday, when I went back up, I was able to see all the cars that were prepped and ready to launch. And when I walked over to my car and looked inside, one of the first things I noticed is that there were about 20 new notes placed in various places all over the cars by the mechanics that were prepping them for launch. And here's what I thought was pretty cool, is I didn't have to tell them anything. They just got inside and they started reading, and they understood what was going on, that there was something important happening with this car, and that they had some burdens, they had some heavy stuff that they were ready to get rid of as well. And they just added their own notes. It was a very moving moment where it kind of crystallized that we were doing the right thing, that Artists Helping the Homeless, the car was literally a vehicle to be able to kind of get rid of some of the stuff. Just let it go. Let it go. Stop letting it live in your head anymore. So on that Friday, when I was standing there on the edge of the cliff, I was at the top when they launched the car off. And another magical moment. Since all the windows were gone, almost immediately as it took off over that lip of the cliff, all of the Post-it notes started fluttering out, almost like it was this explosion of things that were just gone. It was beautiful. It was really, really beautiful. And as it crunched and flipped and rolled and landed, there was absolutely a sense of relief in that we had done the right thing together, and we had really made a difference, a tangible difference in helping people feel better, and get rid of some of those things that they just didn't want to carry around anymore. it was an incredible experience, absolutely incredible experience. And I really want to say thank you to every single person that liked something, one of the videos, or made a comment or shared it. To KSHB 41 News, Grant, you're awesome. You know, he reached out to me after I just cold called him and sent him an email and said, hey man, I'm trying to do this thing. Would you be interested in helping us spread the word? And he said, absolutely. Came out, met with me on a crazy hot day, the day I left, helping to draw that awareness. Multiple people who reached out to me who wanted to share it on their socials and on what they had. It was, the groundswell of support was incredible. So thank you for everyone who took a moment to try to share the message. Of course, to all the donors. You know, we had, really the goals were simple for this. One, make it there. That was probably the key thing, was if this car could actually get there, which in some amazing way it did. Two, to raise awareness that Artists Helping the Homeless, this organization that has tirelessly worked since 2008 to try to bring families together, to help men get their lives back in order, to make them productive members of the community, to do all the things we say we want people to do. AHH does that. And if only a few people, if a couple people learned about what we do, it's worth it. It's worth it. Because what we do is worth it. And then all the folks that gave it money. You know, the other idea was that if our goal was, okay, maybe we can get 1,000 impressions and likes and comments and things like that. We blew through that number. I felt like I had to justify my job by saying, well, we'll probably, if we could raise $10,000, that would be awesome. We're already above 25,000, which is, I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing. The people that reached out to me, from $1 to 10,000, the number of people and the varied amounts were incredible. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. You're helping to make a tangible difference in Kansas City, in the community that we love, in the lives of these young men, and helping to bring families back together. You know, because sometimes one of the hardest things to do when you're dealing with someone who is wrapped up in addictions and destructive behavior is to say, I'm not going to help you anymore. You don't have a place to come back to. That's real. People have to make those decisions in order for them to find their bottom. Because if you keep propping them up and you keep enabling them, sometimes they're never going to hit there. And that is one of the hardest things a family can ever do, is say, we can't help you anymore. And what AHH does is provide this place for these guys to get their lives back together slowly, figure out ways to thrive, and then in a lot of cases to reunite and bring those families back together. That is, if we help one guy do that a year, it's worth it. It's worth it. And so those dollars, those gifts that you so generously gave are incredible. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. And if I have not thanked you yet personally, whether it was an email or something along those lines, I apologize, but I will keep on trying to find out everyone that gave us money and make sure that you know how important and valued you were to our organization. We love you. Thank you so much. You know, and then lastly, like you might be thinking as you watch this video, Ben, that car you're sitting in front of looks awfully like the car you launched off the cliff. Yes, it is, my friends. This is a 2-year newer version of the car that I had. As you can tell, it is lacking stickers. I do have one. It is a Parks Pass for Alaska State Parks, because my friends, in 250,000 miles, we're going to launch this sucker off that cliff as well. Maybe it'll take us 10 years. Who knows? I hope I'm still doing what I'm doing today, trying to advocate and be someone who can be the conduit for you to help make a difference in the community. Because I get it. Not everybody can do this, right? A lot of folks, their job does not allow them to volunteer as much as they'd like to give as much as they'd like to be as active in the community as they would like to be. But that does not mean that you don't want to or that you can't use someone like me to be the conduit for the difference that you want to make. I had lunch the other day with a guy who said that exact thing. He said, you know what? Following what you do, it made me feel like I was part of it. If I could give just a little bit of time, I gave a little bit of money, a little bit of awareness to what you're trying to do, that was worth it. And I was glad I was able to do that. So I'm here for you. You know, if you run a business, you want us to be part of it, we do all sorts of stuff. We do reentry simulations. We can help you understand a little bit more about what it is to be unhoused and how that feels and the difficulty that you have to overcome. We can help you with that. You know, I'm here. I just want to be able to help the people that we serve, the families that we serve. And if there's something that you feel like you can do and you want to be a part of this, whatever it is, please reach out. Because artists helping the homeless is worth it. The people that we serve are worth it. And you are worth it. Thank you so much.